Hello everyone, Giltar here with an action figure review. This time we'll be looking at Kaiyodo's Sci-Fi Revoltech action figure of the Alien character from the Alien movie. Now this is a fairly recent product in that it was released only in March of 2010. Normally it retails for 2,715 yen, so that's about $28 to $29 American. And it's the first of the Sci-Fi Revoltech line, which is a new line by Kaiyodo, which seems to be, I guess, using characters from like live-action movies, mostly science fiction-related movies, I suppose. So we have the Alien here, we have Batman in the near future. I believe we also have the powered armor from Starship Troopers. From the novels, not from the newer movies that came out, I think, in the 90s. Anyways, before I go on, I want to do a quick size comparison. We've got the RX-782 Gundam here in the high-grade Universal Century form. This is the 1:144 scale model kit, which is about 5 inches tall. And as you can see, even at 5 inches tall, the Alien is still taller somewhat, and it's not even standing upright. It has this sort of semi-crouched leg pose going on. Another size comparison will involve the Master Grade, the 1:100 scale RX-72 Gundam. This is the 1-year war version. It is taller than the Alien, but I suspect that if the Alien was posed in an upright standing position, it would be pretty much nearly as tall as the Master Grade, thanks to its lanky, long limbs and its large, elongated head structure. It's actually supposed to be a fairly tall character. Now, before I head into the figure details, I want to briefly point out a couple of things with the packaging, the box here. First of all, very nice cover photography used. It's got a stark black background with only a single light source that just basically highlights the translucent parts of the figure and the outlines of the design, and it really sets up a creepy, moody atmosphere for the photo, and it really suits the character of the Alien. Another funny thing, or not funny, but interesting thing, is a photograph of Chris Wallace here, who is an American special effects and makeup artist and also a director of a few movies. He endorses, apparently, the Revoltech Alien figure. There's a video up here on YouTube with him in it talking about the action figure. I found this video through Ni Kyung's blog several months ago, and I'll link it in this video. It's very interesting to get Mr. Wallace's endorsement, though he didn't work on the movies, so I really don't know why he would endorse it. I mean, he worked on The Fly, which is a science fiction movie from the 80s, so that's similar, but it is strange to get his endorsement. It would have been more suiting to have H.R. Giger or Ridley Scott endorse it because, well, Giger is the character designer and Ridley Scott is the director of the Alien movie. Now, opening up the box, you have a really nice window display here for the contents of the product. So you got the figure and all the accessories. For people who like displaying their figures in the box, this is a great way to display the figure because it shows all the figure and parts there once you have them inside. So it's a really nice option. Inside the cover, we've got some interesting background information, photos of props and concept art. The cover is held in place by a Velcro attachment here, so it's very nice for keeping it shut when you don't want to open it, and when you do want to open it, it's reusable. It's not like you have tape or anything there to keep it shut, so that's nice. There's this banner here at the bottom of the package, which is fairly standard for many Revoltech figure boxes, but this one isn't loose. It's actually glued to the box itself, so it's stable, and there's no real concern with it ripping, unlike many of the other banners that I have for my other Revoltech packages. Up here we've got some photos of the figure and information about the details. Now, the figure itself comes with 3 accessories, really. You have a name plaque display stand, which is interesting. I guess all the Revoltech sci-fi figures should have one of these, so that it's actually quite nice for display purposes. You just have this name plaque and the figure, and it'll look even better once you have several Revoltech sci-fi figures, each with their own name plaques. This is the alien egg or egg pod and the face hugger, both very well sculpted, really finely detailed. The face hugger is a little more basic in that it doesn't have a lot of paint apps going for it, though there is some details of, I guess, veins on parts of the face hugger, and the middle of the face hugger here is painted. The egg pod is just really well done, extremely well sculpted. It uses this translucent plastic with paint applications over it, and it looks wonderful when light is hitting it or going through it, or being diffused through the translucent plastic. And there's a tiny hole here which you can put the tip of the facehugger's tail into and just display it however you want. Now here's the alien figure itself, very well sculpted. Again, like the egg pod, it uses translucent plastic with paint applications over it. It's a mixture of like this dark brownish black paint and this bronze paint that really captures light. It really makes the details pop when light hits it. And even in like broad daylight or under the bright light of a lamp or something, the alien still looks really, really ominous. It has enough dark parts to make it look sort of shadowed, but also the translucent plastic bits that come through and the bronze highlighted parts just really sort of pop out. So it's a nice mix of sort of a shadowed design, a shadowed figure with enough detail so that you can appreciate the just meticulous sculpting that has been done. Now, as far as articulation, pretty basic for a Revoltech figure, which means it has many points of articulation, mostly using revolver joints, which have, as you can hear, ratchet components. Now, one surprising thing about the figure is that the ankles have really strong revolver joints, and that's something that I'm not a big fan of in terms of a lot of Revoltech figures, is that the ankle joints are often fairly weak or unstable, or in some cases difficult to pose well. The alien figure actually has really posable ankle joints and really strong ankle joints, so I really like that. Let's see, actually the waist and torso joints are really interesting. There's a waist joint that allows you to bend the alien like that, forward and back a bit, and then the mid-torso joint allows you to bend slightly and rotate as well. And one really great thing about the sculpt is that you can see through the sections of the ribs, so that you can see inside the torso for more detail, which is just a wonderful touch. Not necessary, in my opinion, but they could have saved costs on the sculpt, but you know what, they went all the way. This is a high-end action figure, in my opinion, and that just really adds to the overall effect. The neck articulation is lacking in that it's not a problem with the design of the figure, it's a problem with the design of the alien, in that the bony, spiny protrusion at the back of the torso here, the shoulder parts here, they get in the way of the head, so that it could be more posable if those parts weren't in the way. The jaw itself does have articulation. You can open up the jaw and the little snapper mouth is in there, and can just sort of slide out, and you can pose it like this if you want. The top of the head actually has a translucent plastic piece that can remove and reveal the human or mutated human skull, to basically show you that this was once a human or humanistic or humanoid organism that was taken over by the alien. All around, just excellent sculpt. The tail itself is sort of like a flexible wire wrapped in, I guess, PVC, a softer plastic, so that you can bend it and get different poses out of it. And if you want some help with stability for posing in a standing pose, you've got the tail there, so that if it falls back like so, it's caught by the tail. So really nicely done. And as you can see, it has great articulation all around. Revolver joints. The wrists are hinged, but you don't need revolver joints, in my opinion, for the wrists. So overall, a really posable figure with actually a really nice stability. As you can see here, I'm shaking the table. I don't know if you can make that out. I'm shaking the table, and other figures are falling over on my table, but not the alien. So it has a really stable, base. And again, the ankles are strong, and they have really great ranges of articulation. So it allows you to have both feet, the soles of the feet flat on the surface to allow great stability. So I guess I'll get into my pros and cons right now. First, with my cons, I only really have two. First is just the limited articulation at the neck, though that's not a fault of the figure design. And another thing is just the obtrusive revolver joints at the ankles and knees. They kind of stick out like a sore thumb, because you have this really great sculpted detail for the thigh and the shin and the calf, but then you have these sort of plain revolver joints kind of just sticking out there. But it's understandable. If you wanted them to be more well sculpted and sort of blend in, it would compromise articulation. So it's either you want a statue or you want a posable action figure with great sculpting, outside of the knee and ankle joints. So I picked the latter because I like functionality in these products. So those are my cons. My pros would be just simply superb sculpting. Yatake Yoshinori is the sculptor behind this action figure. I don't know of his other work, but I mean, if this is an example of what he normally does, I'd love to see what else he has worked on. The accessories aren't a lot. I mean, they're everything that the Alien needs. It doesn't have a lot of accessories when you think about it. I mean, the face hugger, the egg, and the name plaque are, plenty enough for me. And I think the use of translucent plastic with paint washes over it, the extra articulation bits, the details with the see-through rib section, and basically all the details add up to a very, very exceptional high-end action figure. In my opinion, it is worth the nearly $30 that you would normally pay for it. So overall, I do recommend this. If you're an Alien fan, definitely pick it up. If you're not an Alien fan but an action figure collector, still consider getting this. So that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. As usual, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.